Okay, boys and girls, here is our last interactive notebook for this week. Um, if you have the workbook, um, Jeffrey, you should be the only one. You will find this on page 86 through 88. And again, you do not do the challenge part. Um, all right, so our main ideas here. Oh, so this is interactive notebook pages 30 through 32, but again, in the workbook, it's page 86 through 88. The main ideas for this lesson are number one, trade routes link China with the Middle East and Rome. Number two, the most famous trade route was known as the Silk Road. Key terms and people for this interactive notebook page is Silk Road, a network of trade routes between China and the Mediterranean Sea. We did not have this on the last one. Okay, so before I start reading, let's look at our question I'm going to read both of these. Our first question on the right here is what led to an increase in trade outside China? And then our second one we're going to look for is we're going to underline the sentence that explains why Han armies brought Chinese culture into areas outside of China. So what led to an increase in trade outside of China and why Han armies brought Chinese culture into areas outside of China? So expansion of trade. During the Han Dynasty, Chinese goods, especially silk fabric and fine pottery, were highly valued by people in other lands. So the value of these goods outside China helped increase trade. The answer for our first question is in that first paragraph, what led to an increase in trade outside China? Again, if you need to pause the video so you can do your answer and then click play when you're ready. Powerful Han armies expanded into Central Asia, Vietnam, and Korea. Han rulers believed that other ethnic groups outside of China were inferior to the Chinese. So Han armies brought Chinese culture into these societies. They also stabilized the region, which made the transport of goods over trade routes safer. Trade increased as China's leaders realized they could make a profit by bringing silk to Central Asia. Then they traded it for horses. The Central Asian people then took the silk west and traded it for other products. So you're going to look for this sentence that explains why the Han armies brought Chinese culture into areas outside of China. Okay, it's in that paragraph. Last paragraph on this first page, and our question first is what caused cities to grow in Western China? In 139 BC, Emperor Wu Di wanted to establish alliances with an enemy group. He sent one of his generals to these western lands. However, the general was imprisoned and did not return for 13 years. Then he told of great wealth and large horses in Central Asia. Wu Di sent an army there to conquer the lands. The empire grew and trade routes developed to the west. The Chinese extended the Great Wall to protect their land and trade routes. Along the trade routes, trading posts and farming settlements developed. This led to the rise of cities in Western China. So what caused cities to grow in Western China? Find that answer in that paragraph. Okay, our next page. First question. What was the most famous overland trade route that the Chinese used to take goods to distant lands? Traders used a series of overland routes to take Chinese goods to distant lands. The most famous trade route was known as the Silk Road. Most merchants traveled only a small part of the Silk Road, selling their goods along the way to other traders. Then, when they reached Central Asia, these traders sold their goods to other local traders who took the goods the rest of the way. So what was the most famous overland trade route that the Chinese used to take goods to distant lands? Next, in this section, you're going to look for the sentence and underline it that explain why traveling the Silk Road was worth the risk traders faced. Traveling the Silk Road was difficult and risky, so traders formed groups for protection. Traders also faced icy blizzards, desert heat, and sandstorms. However, the Silk Road was worth the many risks. Silk was so popular in Rome, for example, that China grew wealthy just from trading with Romans. Traders also returned from Rome with gold, silver, precious stones, and horses. So in that paragraph, find the sentence that explains why traveling the Silk Road was worth the risk traders faced. The next paragraph. Well, I'm going to read this question, and then if I hear the answer, I'll stop and remind you what you're looking for. Otherwise, I'm going to keep reading all the way through that. So this question is list 3 examples that demonstrates the spread of knowledge and technology along the Silk Road. So you're looking for 3 things that demonstrate the spread of knowledge and technology. The exchange of goods along the Silk Road led to a wider world economy. Goods from Europe and Africa went to China, and Chinese goods went west. In addition to goods, the Silk Road also caused people to exchange knowledge and inventions. People had to learn new languages to communicate with traders from different cultures. People from different places talked to one another and exchanged knowledge of the arts and science. Advanced technology such as paper making and irrigation systems spread across Asia and beyond by way of the Silk Road. Religion also spread because of trade routes. Buddhism came from India to China by way of the Silk Road. During the Han period, few foreigners traveled to China. However, trade brought foreign ideas and technology. So what are 3 examples that demonstrate the spread of knowledge and technology along the Silk Road? It's going to be in both of those big paragraphs there. All right, and then your last page. So you have 4 statements here. You're going to write a T on the line if this statement is true. If this statement is false because of the underlined word, you will write an F on the line and put the correct word underneath. This would be the wrong word. You would cross it out and put the correct word underneath. Number 1, the Chinese extended the Silk Road to protect its land and trade routes. If this is true, put a T on the line. If they did not extend the Silk Road but extended something else, cross this out, put that correct word underneath, and put an F on the line. Number 2, during the Han Dynasty, silk and pottery were highly valued by the Romans. Again, if this is true, if the Han Dynasty had a high value from the Romans on silk and pottery, then put a T there. If this is false because this word is incorrect, you're going to cross this off and put the correct term underneath and put an F on the line. Number 3, the Silk Road was a network of routes westward between China and the Mediterranean Sea. Is this true? Put a T on the line. If not, cross this word off, put the correct word underneath, and put an F on the line. And then finally, number 4, traders returned from Vietnam with gold, silver, precious stone, and horses. Is this the correct term from the reading? If it is, put a T on the line. If not, cross Vietnam out, put the correct word on the underneath it, and put an F on the line. And you can find all of these in the readings. Remember, once you're done, go into the Google Classroom and make sure that you submit this assignment and put a personal comment that you completed it on paper. All right, good luck, my friends.